who do not have this experience, you may not be able to relate to what I'm about to talk about. Not only will it be hard for you to relate, it may uh, cause you to have some negative feelings. I guess that's the easiest way to say it. So I've been in my purpose for a long time. It's very clear. Let me back up. Today I went to church, and I went to a new church, and it was about spiritual gifts, and there was a spiritual assessment. I took it. This was one of the most clear. There was over 100 questions. This was one of the most clear, relatable spiritual gift assessments I've ever taken. And it came up with my spiritual gift being I'm trying to think of the way they phrase it, but excuse me, compassion, mercy. So basically working with people, providing sympathy, help with people in crisis, giving, that kind of thing. And it just so happens, excuse me, it just so happens I have been working in my spiritual gift and my purpose for a long time. Almost 2 decades I've been working in the social work industry, specifically child neglect and abuse. So I've been in that for a long time. It's not what I went to school for. I went to school for PR and advertising, had my first job with a major television company. I was disgusted by what I saw behind the scenes. I ran from that and ran right into child welfare. Okay. So this spiritual assessment, it was breaking down like areas I could be in the church, like answering the crisis calls, going to the hospitals, things like that. Stuff that I am actually drawn to in a way, but not in a way like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, I want to go to the hospital. But like when I hear about it, when I hear about the need, I feel a desire to get involved. And I always feel like other people's needs are primary over my own. And literally, and I'm not saying this to brag or anything like that, but just to give like an example how ironic this is. When I was leaving church, before I took the spiritual gifts assessment, it was raining, and I saw a father and a young daughter, probably 2 or 3 years old, walking in the rain, and I pulled over and gave them my umbrella. And I like that umbrella. But I do things like that all the time just because I feel the need. I don't do it to come and talk about it, but that's just an example. And I'm like taking the survey and I'm reading the results and I'm like, this is me. But I'm also like resented because maybe because I've been in my purpose for so long, like in my industry, I'm also studying to get my master's in social work and start my own therapy practice. And it talked about how it's easy for me to share joy with people. It's easy for me to sit in crisis with people. And all of these things are so true. But there's a lot that comes with that, right? Like most of my relationships, I attract broken people like none other. Like I attract people who are either in crisis or broken or people who've like endured trauma or just trying to figure it out. Like those in my personal relationships, those are how I connect with people and how people come to me. And I end up getting hurt. Especially like there's times when I have like healthy friends, but I was there for them, like say when someone in their life died and I walked through that with them. I stopped everything to be there for them through that. And they found the value and thought they want to be my friend. But then as they get further and further away from that tragedy, they get further and further away from the friendship. So I have serial relationships where I have unmet needs. And the assessment was so spot on, as it talked about be careful not to be used by people, continuing to meet the needs in other people's houses and not the needs in your house. And that's where the resentment comes in. Because as much as I read this assessment, I'm like, yeah, this is no surprise to me. This is me. I feel like my job is in purpose. My pursuit of my education that I'm doing now is in purpose. Where I end up when I do serve in church is in purpose. It talked about how I'm a very non-offensive person. I can be very people pleasing. I'm very accepting of others. And even though on the surface, I'm like, yeah, those are good things that I like about myself, but also those are things that I resent about myself, because I can tend to get trampled on quite often. And I feel like in my personal life, I have not had healthy relationships. And so this is where the resentment comes in, where I just resent my purpose. It's like, in one way, reading it, it was confirmation, but in another way, it was like I was secretly hoping something else would come up, like something else I can work on, something else I can get involved in. As much as like the inner depths of me knows like I can show up for someone in crisis and be a calm person. I hear that all the time. Like right now, I'm on a crisis. I'm working the crisis line in my state because of the hurricanes. And I keep hearing over and over, just the calmness of your voice is bringing me some healing, just some peace. Like I hear that all the time. However, and I know this is where I'm supposed to be, and I'm walking where God wants me to walk, but I kind of don't want to do it anymore. I'm kind of tired. And maybe this is burnout or exhaustion, or where I'm giving too much and not filling my cup or something. Because just to read like, go to the church and do sympathy, work with the funeral, call members of the church when they're down, this is where you would be needed. I was just like, no. Just reading that, I'm just like, no, I don't want to do it anymore. I want to do something else. I want to do something fun. Tell me that I should be drawing pictures to put on the board. Tell me that I should be telling people where to park. Tell me that I should learn accounting. Tell me anything that does not involve compassion, mercy, sympathy, empathy, anything else, because I'm really exhausted. And I think my problem is, as I'm talking this out, is mostly the exhaustion is not coming from me being in purpose, like at work and when I am serving at church. I think the exhaustion is mostly coming from my mismanagement of my personal life, because I attract a certain type of person, because this is what my light calls for. This is what it brings into me. And I am so agreeable, and I am so non-offensive, and I don't have firm boundaries, and I don't protect myself, and I don't ask a lot of people. I don't ask anybody. I don't tell anybody I need to feel cared about too. I have bad days too. I want to be seen too. I want to be heard too. I want to be nurtured too in my personal relationships. And then I feel like I'm getting my needs unmet quite frequently. And then also, it's like people come into my life and leave my life like a storm. They either come into my life, get what they need from me, and disappear, come into my life, trample all over me, trample their way back on out, come into my life, trample on me until I get tired, and I trample my way on out. So I'm just tired. And that's what I mean when I say I'm resentful of my purpose, of my spiritual gift. I would say of my spiritual gift. I think that's my spiritual gifts that I'm resentful of, not my purpose. So I don't know if anyone can relate to that. If you've been like in purpose for a long time, if you've actually been someone who's somehow your life has lined up to where it just all matches, everything matches, and it's been that way for a long time, but also you never really learned how to manage it. And that's where I'm at. Like, I never learned how to manage this. And so it's like taking me under in the largest way possible right now, to the point where I don't even want to see myself. Lay down on a piece of paper. I'm reading it like, yep, that's me. Yep. I would be good at that. Yep, that's who I am. But I don't want to look at it. So I just thought I'd come in here and talk about it. That's it. Thanks for listening. Bye.